Okay. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Everything is under control. We totally have this in the bag. Oh boy, okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ready? Rolling for curiosity.
Camp Summer Smiles in the Estrella Marshlands is the premier camp in Florida for brilliant ecologists, botanists, and nature lovers to come and spend their summer diving headfirst into their passion to understand what makes the world tick and how to make the world a better place. At least it was. Then the summer of 2003 came, and the camp was shut down abruptly and permanently following a major disaster about a month into the start of camp. No one knows really what went on there. Those that made it out were either locked away in insane asylums or moved away and cut all contact with everyone they knew. Now, 2 decades later, rumors around Camp Summer Slasher, as it's been nicknamed, have begun again telling stories of hikers getting too close to the marsh and vanishing, or campers going in and going missing. A research team was sent to investigate the marsh and report their findings, but it's been over a month and no word. Our story begins with 3 individuals. You all wake up around a small camp as the sun is starting to set. You can't remember exactly how you got there, but you remember that you were sent there to investigate the marsh.
Samuel is about 6'4", with legs for days and shorts to show it. Long flowing hair and almost glides as they walk, just confidently. Um, you would argue that they are inappropriately dressed for the confines, but their experience leaves them to be a little cocky in the tank top that shows some pec movement and a little bit of arm that easily could get hit by vines and trees, and is not afraid to show a little scar every now and then.
Maddie is about 5'8", maybe a little bit pudgier. You can definitely see, like, where the hairline has receded a bit. They've got a little bit longer, scraggly beard, and are dressing much the same way I would, with, like, they've got a real loose little poncho hoodie, but, like, just some shorts on, because got to keep kind of cool and fresh or whatever down here. But, this is loose enough, and, definitely smells like someone who's dressing like this in a marsh. So, but that's just nature, baby. That's just how it is.
Nicole is probably 5'6". I have no clue of how tall or normal or small that is, but that sounds fun. And she has dressed up for the occasion, so she does wear long pants, fine boots, everything just fitting for where they are at this point. She always wears or carries a backpack with her, which is stuffed to the brim with notebooks. She is someone who records everything. Always walks with a notebook in her hands, always is scribbling or writing down the things that she sees. With in the back of her mind, always the idea of going to publish it somewhere, some way.
Very good, very good. So your mind's a little foggy as to how you got out here. It's you remember being assigned the job of coming out to investigate. You remember getting ready, and then you remember waking up right now. So it's a little foggy as to all you do remember. There's one memory that you all share that stands out from anything else. All you remember is a thumping. You remember a thumping, and it incites fear into you every time you think of it. Just a heavy thumping, like footsteps almost. So as the sun starts setting, what do you do?
I'm going to start stirring everybody.
Yeah, Maddie's kind of like digging through his bag a bit, and you see he like pulls out a bag with some I mean, we're all into plants. It's a plant substance you'd all recognize that a professional maybe shouldn't have. But he's just looking like, kind of weighing it like, I gotta say, guys, I'm real hazy about how we got here, and normally I'm pretty good about, keeping my doses level and stuff like that, but I am so sorry. I must have blacked out or something, because I do not remember setting up camp. So thank you both for taking care of me and stuff and getting us here. Mad props for that, because whoa, did I have nightmares. Like, just messed up.
Nicole has opened up her backpack and is rummaging through the notebooks and gets one out, and that's the one that you've seen her use probably before. And she just
gonna write
rummages.
your diary?
Yeah, she's gonna rummaging through it and stop at the last page and reads what's there. She meticulously writes down everything that happens. So, like a voice recording and a recorder, she just writes everything down. So she tries to see if there's anything about what happened yesterday evening.
Yeah, you wrote you start flipping through the pages, and you see that you guys made it to the campground. Well, to the spot that you designated as the campground. You set up camp. You didn't really help much with the setting up. You were busy like organizing things and getting everything else ready as they were doing the actual constructing. And then, everything looked like it was fine. You were getting ready. You had a plan to go for the next day. And then you see when you flip the page, because everything in your book has been just like, you have excellent calligraphy. So you're just like, it's beautiful. And that's one of the things you pride yourself on. But you notice that the next page, different from everything else, completely standing out in your book, is just like hurried scrawls. And it mentions that there was a loud thumping, kind of like a giant's footsteps, around the camp while you guys were sleeping. And you're freaking out because you woke up. You don't know if anybody else is awake. You don't know what's going on. You're just terrified. You figured you'd write this down just in case something happens. You kept hearing the thumping. It was like a thump and then a weird clattering. A thump, clatter. Thump, clatter. And it was kind of sounded like, I don't know, the best thing you could think of, which is what also terrified you, was that the closest thing you can think of to make to that sound is the clattering of bones. And so then it lists that, and then you just like write in there that you hope if something happens to you, somebody finds the notebook. And then the weirdest thing is that you look at like your alarm goes off on your watch, because I like to think you're one of those detail oriented people that kind of like to have like alarms to get like you'll get hyper focused.
Yeah.
So you need an alarm to be like, hey, it's time for this, hey, it's time for that. And you look at your watch and you're like, holy crap, wait a minute. You notice that the date on your watch is a week later than the last date in the notebook.
Okay. You see her with that notebook, rummaging through it, coming to that last page, looking a bit startled, then look back at the other two, look at her book again, look at her watch, and just goes her whole... There's no color in her face anymore. I don't think this was last night. Did you give us something, Maddie?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Would never give anything without explicit consent, okay?
That's
I am
fair.
not about
But
not about sneaking anything to anyone. I will always get consent. And hey, if you two need a little wake and bake, we can get things set up, you know. I mean, it's a fresh day. We gotta, you know, get the juices flowing. It's fine. It's fine.
we're not accusing you of doing it maliciously. Maybe, let's assume, because we can't remember. Does anyone remember? No one remembers. That if things were taken, that we did it with consent. Are you missing any of your stash? Is the question.
He'll look. Does it look like he's missing much of his stash? I mean, he's a weed guy. That's about it. He's not bringing anything heavy and wild.
I mean, you're definitely missing some stash. Your usual usage is about that, you know, of a week that's about how much is gone.
Wait, okay, no, because we were doing stuff last night. And look, even if I did all of this much just by myself, that would not be enough for me to not remember a whole week. How do you know it's been a week? We were just doing stuff last night.
Because I wrote that down and I haven't wrote anything down for the last week.
Maybe your weird little digi-watch is wrong and everything. You guys, you're relying too much on these weird electronics. Out here, maybe the signal is wrong. I don't know how those things work. I'm just going to be honest. But
not like that.
Okay, but what makes more sense? That your little, watch or whatever is wrong, or that we somehow don't remember an entire week of our lives? I want you to try and process that, because let me tell you, memory might not be my strongest suit, but it's better than that. I don't forget entire weeks.
I don't know. I haven't written.
I will say, you notice the last little wisp of light is over the horizon right now, and it's getting very dark.
Should we worry about being safe right now, and maybe we can piece together where and what we are in time once we feel safe?
Do you know where we are then?
We are in the middle of what looks like a marsh.
I mean, you're not wrong. I am not 100% sure what we're going to do to feel 100% safe at this moment, because
I recognize the plant
express,
and the fauna. Like this
my
is...
reality here, this is a little bit freaky.
Nope. Mm-mm. Don't like that sound. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, no, that is what I heard. Like, seriously, that... I swear to God, I had a dream with thumping like that, and it
I don't think that was a dream, because I heard it.
Hey, what if we, I don't know, made a fire?
I mean, Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That we can agree on that. Fire needs to happen.
Dump.
I don't want to make a fire anymore. I want to
I
hide
don't
in the
want to draw
dark.
attention.
Oh.
Don't draw attention.
I am gonna lie back down on the ground and look like I am dead and have fallen.
Oh my god. That's not helping anything. That is not helping anything. Okay.
Dump.
Shh! You're giving me away.
Okay. A fire might give away our position, but it keeps big animals and stuff away, okay? So we maybe need to make a friggin' fire right now,
Dump.
man.
Animals who sing?
Maybe it's
Laugh?
maybe there's like parrots or something, or ravens. They talk, okay?
And they make thumping sounds.
Maybe it's riding on the back of something. I don't know. Okay, look. There is like quietly singing Bigfoot out there that wants to eat us. Would you rather have a fire or play dead so it can
Dumb.
put you into a sandwich?
Let's make that fire.
Everybody do me a favor. Have a wonderful game we can play.
Oh no.
We're going to do a round robin. Now, we're going to start with Maddie, then go to Nicole, then go to Samuel. So, Maddie, I would like for you to start us off by naming cereal brands.
Brand, like the name of a cereal?
Yep.
Captain Crunch.
Nicole?
Oh, sorry. Honey Loops.
Okay. Samuel?
Rice Krispies.
Maddie?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Nicole?
Smucks.
Samuel?
Grape nuts.
Maddie?
Quisp.
Nicole?
Yeah, that's how far my cereal knowledge goes. We don't have our
Samuel?
Frosted Flakes.
Cookie Crisp.
Samuel?
Oreo O's.
Golden Grams.
Honey Smacks.
Lucky Charms.
Cocoa Crisps.
Frosted Flakes.
I
already
think we
said
already
that
said
one.
Frosted Flakes.
Oh, you did? Oh, shoot. God, I'm not good at paying attention to what people have said, apparently.
Fantastic.
I don't know if that's a rule or not, but I definitely said it
I think it
before.
is. It should be, yeah.
So as you hear this thump, I would say that in this situation, Samuel has a clear head and can react thinking clearly, and like logically. Maddie, you start to panic a little bit, but for the most part, still got a good head on your shoulders. Nicole, you're freaking the fuck out. Like, you're losing it. Like irrational fear, kind of like this is everything going on compared to your notebook. It is what has happened, what has gone on the last week. Why is this thumping back? What is going on? It is just too much for you right now.
She takes the book she has still in her hands, puts it in a backpack, takes the backpack, and just takes off.
All right. Next, Maddie, what do you do? I will say this is directly after this happened, so you saw her just book it.
If she books it, he is trying to, like, go through his bag and find a flashlight, because he's like, I'm not going to run blind
Dumb.
into the floor. He is going to like grab his bag and just try and like hide behind a tree or something and find his flashlight. He's like, I need to be able to see you. Okay, gotta go. Stay calm. Come on.
Dumb.
I'm making myself look dead.
Gonna look real dead in a minute.
You two hear another thump, and it sounds real close. I mean, really loud, really close. And then you hear, weirdly enough, you hear. And then you hear the thump again, but it doesn't sound as close. And you hear the thump again. It sounds a little further away. Thump again, and it's a little further away. And Samuel, you just hear it going further away, so you're like, this worked, perfect. Maddie, since you're still kind of freaking out, but not playing Cadaver right now, you notice that it seems to be heading off in the direction that Nicole ran. Thump. Nicole, what are you doing, friend?
Keep running, and I'm making sure that I take my backpack. That I take my backpack with me. These notebooks are my life, kind of literally. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So you're running as fast as you can. You're like, I don't, this is too much for me. I can't deal with this. You run and you trip. And as you trip, because you weren't looking where you were going, you were just hauling nuts. You run, trip, fall, and you hear a crunch, and pain shoots through your right leg, and you hear the thump again, but the thump is getting louder as you hear it. And once you fall and hurt your leg and that crunch happens, you hear this hideous laughter. Just and then dump. What do you do?
Two things.
Mhm.
You hear her shriek of pain. And the second thing, she's going to yeet her backpack to to the bushes. As I said, these notebooks are her life. She sees them as her legacy. So actually, she doesn't really care about what happens to her as long as these notebooks survive.
So you just kind of yeet the backpack and just sit there.
No, I'm as I'm doing. I try to scroll back, or scroll back.
Anytime you do anything with that right leg, it is just terrible pain. You'll notice that when you tripped over that log or branch, whatever it was, you don't even know what it was, but you fell, and when you fell, you landed on a pretty jagged rock, and so you see that some of your like you can see some of the muscle in your leg from how bad it was cut, and like you can't really like move that foot at all, and you just assume something's broken.
Then she's not going to try to stand up, but just crawls away, creating some distance to that sound.
Thump. I'm
gonna open one eye to look around.
Super dark. You see nothing.
I'm gonna whisper. Psst. Are you there? Are you there?
No shit, I'm here. We gotta get up and we have to like go and look and see if we can find Nicole or something, okay? We gotta stop lying around and we gotta do something because this is not going to accomplish anything.
Okay. And I slowly stand up while wanting to point out playing dead meant we didn't get chased. So, it worked for that purpose. Which way?
Nicole went off this way. We're going to go this way. We're going to be quiet. And we're going to try and help her. Because I think we have a better chance of getting out of here if there are more of us. Unless you would just like to play dead until you're actually dead.
No. I'm good. Let's go that way.
Going to try and
All right.
quietly but quickly move toward where the scream came from.
Okay.
I'm gonna argue we should move towards where the cackle came from. If we can find the source of our terror without it finding us, we can also save our friend from predicament. And since we are playing catch up, we should be able to come up from behind. Bow
I
chicka
assume
wow
they're
wow.
in roughly the same direction.
Okay. So you both decide to move. You both have different ideas as to how you should, like what you should focus on, but you both agree that you should move quickly but quietly. Am I correct?
Yes.
So I leave this up to each one of you. Which one of those two do you decide to do? Quickly or quietly?
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
All right. So you start trying to be like, you notice that to be quiet, you have to be extremely slow because of all the dead foliage and, you know, the splashing and the like, you know, wet parts, and just it takes too much. You're just like, screw this, we'll never make it in time. And you start to just sprint head ass out there. So you're running as fast as you can. You're trying to get out there, and as you come across this, like, you come into a small clearing, and as you do, you see something I'll tell you about in a minute. But Nicole,
No, you can tell them now. We're fine.
Nicole, you are hiding in this bush in extreme pain, and you hear just the thumping get louder and louder, and then it stops. And you don't hear anything. And then you hear something to break the silence, which is the rattling. And you hear and the rattling.
I stay as quiet as possible.
You hear that horrifying sound and the clattering, which just brings back more memories. And like, you remember you wrote that specifically, the clattering that sounds like bone. And then the bush starts to move, and you hear a thump.
I think pure out of instinct, she tries to scurry away, forgetting that she cannot put any weight on that leg, and just crumbles to the ground with a shriek, with a cry of pain.
Cool. So I will say, as you do this, it is completely night. It is extremely dark out in this. You see the silhouette of something horrifying. All you see is, like, it starts out looking like a person, just like a person silhouette. And you see arms like this, and then, like, you follow the body down, and about stomach, like navel, it stops, and it's just a massive rotund shape. And then you see that's all you see there, and you see some kind of elongated object in the right hand. And whenever they shake that, you hear that bone sound again.
She
And that
starts
is
to
what you
whimper.
see. And as you whimper and you make that screech, you see the body slowly turn to you, and the eyes flare up a sickly green. And then, Samuel and Maddie, you hear that screech. You hear the scream, and you hear, as you're running closer to everything, you hear that sickening, like, clatter of bones. And you, same thing. You run up on this scene where you see just this massive form cloaked in darkness, just a silhouette, and it looks like a person until it gets halfway and it's just this rotund bottom. You don't see legs, you don't see anything like that, and you see it has something elongated in its hand that it's shaking, and that's causing that bone sound. And you see, like, you hear the whimpering coming from Nicole, and you know that it's just right on the other side of this being. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and pick up a rock and throw it at him.
Okay. And Maddie?
Yeah, I am probably, hearing Nicole and, seeing this thing kind of after her. I have the thought, like, I could probably outrun this thing. Look, it doesn't look like it could move very fast. I gotta help her. And so he's, like, slamming a stick against a tree or something and being like, hey!
Samuel, you throw this rock. And
Sorry,
you
I
don't...
yeet it.
Yes, you yeet it.
Did I use that correctly?
Yes.
Yay!
Especially in this situation.
Wait, is it yeet to throw without care? Because I'm throwing with a lot of
Yes.
care and purpose, so it's not yeeting.
You thought you were, but you yeet it. And you throw it, and it goes a little lower than you anticipated. Still hits, but it hits that big rotund area, the bottom half of this thing, and you hear just this of like it hitting something metallic. After you do that, paired with Maddie's slamming on a tree, hey, the thing that gets both of your attention is, and I will add, this is with a sickening snap to it. The head alone snaps around and stares at you. And you see the sickly green eyes piercing your soul. And you just hear... And then you see the entire figure leap about 3 feet off the ground and thump. And then again.
Oh my
thump.
God, it's a punch me clown! Also, I'm going to try and talk to it. Hey there, buddy. How about you let me know if you were... Did you bring us here? We're lost.
Maddie is just staring at Samuel, just like, what is wrong with you? Run!
Don't you want to find out
Right.
how we got here? We don't know how to get out.
You see it leap and land right in front of you, Samuel, with a big thump. And it cocks its head to the side. And it leans close, like it understands you, and takes one of its, like, elongated hands and just rubs it on the side of your face. And then moves in a little closer and goes... and just slams its hand into your shoulder, piercing the skin, shooting pain throughout.
Ow!
Maddie, you just see this happen. And yeah, what do you do, bud? It's super dark.
He is just trying to, like, throw rocks and sticks that way. He figured maybe he can get this thing chasing him and he'll lead it on a chase, but oh my God, I don't know what Samuel's doing. He's just shouting out like, run, you friggin' idiots!
So, you don't hit Samuel.
Well, thank
Even
you.
though it's super dark out. So you're just chucking this stuff, and it has a big, metallic round bottom, so it's a big target that you're able to hit. So you're hitting that, you throw a couple of them, it hits some non-metal parts at the top, and you see it again. The head just snaps back towards you, and you don't see much else because it's so dark out.
He'll kind of shout. He's like, hey, over here. Come on, dummy. Ooh.
Nicole, all this crazy commotion is going on around you. What are you doing, friend?
She's using that distraction to, as quietly as she can, not putting weight on that leg, just scurrying over the ground with the backpack that she has taken up. Again, put on a bag. Trying to create as much of a distance between them and me, because I may have written down a lot, but there has to be someone to tell our story. So I'm trying to get out of here without anyone noticing.
Understandable. All right, so you're trying to get away. Again, it is extreme. I can't emphasize how dark it is. There's no moonlight, there's nothing. It is just pitch black. So you are crawling through just all sorts of just, you don't even know at this point. It goes from dry to wet to dry to like, oh, you're praying to God that it's mud. Everything smells terrible out here. There's a heavy sulfur smell in the air mixed with like something else. Like, it's enough to gag a maggot at certain points. But yeah, it's just like you're at this point you can
I don't care.
it.
I want to live.
You can feel it getting all over you, including your leg wound.
Yeah, not worrying about that, because when I'm dead, it doesn't matter if I live. We'll figure it out later.
You're heading away from all the commotion, and you just keep trudging. You're not making a quick getaway, because you're literally just like army crawl dragging yourself with your backpack, but you are making progress. You are getting distance, and yeah, that you're doing your best to get on. You do hear like other creatures in the distance, and you know that there are other creatures out here, but as far as you know, you're just getting away from this. I almost said the name of it. You're getting away from this creature, and you know that hopefully they can keep it entertained or distracted so you can get away.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to Samuel.
I have someone's hand shoved in my shoulder chest area. Like, Cool. I'm gonna try and like thumb wrist lock, pull out, turn the arm and hand. And if that works, I'm gonna slap it in the face.
Okay. Best of 3 rock, paper, scissors. All right. We're gonna do rock, paper, scissors, shoot, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. So that is... Okay, cool. So, you grab the hand, and you're trying to, like, twist it and pull it out, and you can't move it at all. Like, it is unnaturally strong. But then you feel after a couple seconds, like, it just kind of lets you pull the hand out. So you do that, and you go to slap it in the face, and it just... As you move, you can feel it just move back just enough to get out the way, and you just hear another cackle, like a light cackle. And then you see it move the hand up.
Wail at it? like I take the first swipe and just all sorts of scratching, clawing towards its face hole.
You can try. I will say, what is the name of the marshlands we're in?
So I died.
So, I'm assuming you do not recall.
No.
Okay.
Wait. The marshland. I remember you mentioned something about a campground and it being nope. So I don't know the marshland.
The name was the Estrella Marshlands in Florida, which, funny enough, that means star. So as you go, you're like, oh, this is it. We're about to square up and just start slapping at this thing.
Clawing, scratching, whatever I can get.
Yeah, you go and you miss the first couple, and then you catch it in the face one time. And you almost throw up. Because when you hit it across the face, you can feel some of the skin just slough off. And it's like stuck to your hand. And as that happens and you like shake your hand and you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, you feel a hand wrap around your neck and lift you off the ground. And so,
Oh boy. I told him to run.
So you're sitting there watching this like, oh my God, if only there was a way I could see what's going on, as you like shake your hands and remember that you had the flashlight in your hand from earlier.
I'll click it on and take a look.
You see your a coworker, compatriot, friend, if you will, Samuel, being held about like Samuel's tall as shit. Still being held about 3 to 4 feet off the ground, and you move your light over and like look down, and as you're just scanning up, you see what looks like a massive cauldron. That's the big metallic thumping sound that you heard when Samuel threw that rock, and that's what you're hearing that massive thump from. And you keep your hand starts shaking as you're moving up more and more. And when you get past the cauldron, you see just these tattered clothing, these tattered robes, and you see bones decorating the cauldron. Just all, you think they're all human bones, but you're not sure. And you don't know what's scarier, the fact that you know there's human bones or that you're not sure they're all human bones. Excuse me. And as you go up more, you see just these wispy gray hairs. I mean, there is not a full head of hair. They are thinned out. They're just in random tufts, going down to about shoulder height. And you see the arm. You follow the arm, and it's reaching out and it's grabbing, holding Samuel up in the air, and the hands look just like the pale blue of somebody that has been drowned. And so you see that with the long black fingernails, and then the head snaps around and looks at you, staring directly into the light. And it's kind of like when you take pictures of cats and they get that horrifying like demon eye thing. You see that as the light hits this, you want to say old woman, but she looks so gaunt, and part of her cheek is missing, but no blood is coming out. No blood. You just see like water pouring out of the side of her face where the cheek is missing. And she looks like someone that has drowned. And you look over a little more to what's in her hand that's making all that bone sound, and you see a long staff. And it controls a race car. No. I just heard a race car in the background. Yeah. No, but you see this long staff, and the staff is adorned with bones, like all over, just decorated with bones and runes. And you see at the top, it's kind of like antlers at the top, and then there's like two rows hanging from the antlers of bones that just knock together as this creature moves. Now, Nicole, you are doing your best. Lord knows you're doing your best right now. But you are not getting super far, just crawling. So you are still relatively close when Maddie finally turns on his light. And so you see what he's illuminating, and it sends shivers down your spine. Not even that. It gets to a point where you don't know if it's worth continuous, like fuck crawling. You're about to get up and sprint with your broken leg, because you realize that, holy shit, it does exist. There's no, how is this possible that it exists? Because you thought this was just a tale, this was just something stupid. You paid it no attention when you were reading through the lore of this area. You heard about the drowned, she's going by different names, the drowned woman, the marsh hag, but her oldest name is Baba Yaga.
I do not care what her name is. I just want to take off. I'll just describe it when I survive. I just describe it in most horrific detail, and probably will put the name in one of my notebooks just to publish it. But I don't care for it now. My main concern is to get away from here.
Yep, you are filled with terror at this realization, because you know that reading, because you didn't really believe in it, you didn't pay it any attention. It was like a stupid extra, like lore of like Loch Ness. So you were like, I'm here, I'm reading this book, I got some time to kill, might as well read a little bit about it. And you know that they are predators that love to play with their prey. They love, the more fear they can instill in their prey, the better it is for them.
Then she just figures that this creature is occupied enough with the two people she has in her vicinity, so she's just going. Nicole is going to just keep going.
Samuel. So you're gurgling as this thing is choking the life out of you, but it's not even looking at you. It's staring at Maddie. Which is just horrifying for you, because you were being choked out by this thing. And then you're super close when it snaps like the bones in its neck to like turn to Maddie quickly. So you're just like right there getting that ASMR.
As I'm being held up, I'm gonna stick my fingers like right into the finger, like the hand. And I'm not trying to like pull it off. I'm just trying to like give a little bit of room. And I'm just gonna hang. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang there and play dead.
You feel this just humid, disgusting breath on your face and neck as it gets close and goes. And just launches you onto the ground, just slams you on the ground. And then slowly, like, let me see if I can properly paint how this looks to Maddie. Maddie, you see this tall, lanky gentleman get just slammed.
Sexy.
Like you see
Sexy.
them stop moving.
Sexy
This
is the thank
sexy
you.
botanist. This just super sexy, gorgeous botanist. Struggle and then stop moving and then get slammed on the ground. And then as the like motion of slamming happens, you see because this entire time it's been looking at you and then moved over to sniff Samuel, and then once it slams Samuel down, the head snaps back to you, and then the limbs just go behind it and start like horror crab walking whilst dragging the cauldron coming towards you.
Oh, he immediately shouts like, "Oh, you getting over it, Bennett Foddy, goat sucking mother effer, screw this!" And he starts running.
Maddie, you're running. You're like, oh no, this goat sucking mother. No, I'm out of here. And you're running. And you step down and you hear another crunch. And the ground feels weird and you trip and fall over. And you just hear a screech coming, just like blood curdling scream coming from Nicole as you try and like run. Don't notice her on the ground because you're running wildly, and you step on the broken leg.
Oh.
So now you're both on the ground staring at one another. She is crying and screaming in pain, and you're freaking out. You look over and you don't see the creature anymore. And then you hear thump, thump, thump. But it's getting further from you guys. Samuel.
Yes.
You notice, like, you played, like, it hurt when this thing threw you on the ground.
It's not
But you're
hard
like,
to play
oh,
dead
God.
after that.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this hurts. But it seems, yes, 2 out of 2, baby. 2 out of 2. And then you hear thump, thump. And then nothing. And then you hear the bone rattling. And you hear
I'm going to try and sell the fact they just got choked and slammed into the ground. And try to just look even deader.
okay. As you do that, for the first time tonight, maybe, I don't know, ever, 2 things happen that have never happened before. You hear what could be what you can only assume is this creature's voice, as it says right next to your ear,
"Oh, I see you like to play dead. Let me help you."
And the second thing that happens is, for the first time in a long, and probably ever, you feel extremely relaxed as everything goes dark, as she snaps your neck. Nicole.
She tries to be kind of quiet, but no way that this is quiet. She's just whimpering and she just sobbing at this point.
Maddie, what do you do? Thumb.
He is going to try and help Nicole up, like have her get an arm around his shoulder and everything, and he is going to try and hustle them both out of here and be like, I'm sorry, I know it hurts, but we gotta move.
As soon as Maddie tries to pick her up, she just goes, no, leave me. I cannot do this. Here, take these. And she pushes her backpack into your hands. Says, then thinks of something. Hold on. And takes out the last notebook, scribbles down very quickly something in there, closes the book, puts it back in, and pushes you away with the backpack.
As you push, Maddie, you see her grab the book, write something hurriedly in it, close it, put it in the bag, shove you and the bag back. And as she does that, you both hear.
Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of you now.
And just, you see Nicole just get snatched into the darkness. And you hear another snap. Thump.
He's holding the bag and
Thump.
like he's trying to think. He's like, running has not been working. This and that. He is gonna try and like grab a stick and run and be ready to like try and fight if he needs to, but he's booking it. Actually, you know what? No. He's kind of figuring like running has not been working. I don't know where I am. He's just gonna drop the bag and try and pick up the biggest stick he can and be like, all right, come on.
Okay. As you do that, you're ready. And you hear a cackle. You just hear.
I see this time you decided to fight.
He'll like laugh back and be like, oh yeah, bring it.
We'll see what happens next time.
And you hear nothing. And it's just calm and dark.
He's waiting there, trying to like look around. He can't see, flashlight's somewhere dropped in the mud or whatever. And he's like swinging the stick in the dark. And he's like, come on. What? Come on.
And as you're screaming into the dark, you're hitting nothing. You're just swinging. Shadows are moving in your mind. You don't know if it's real or not. You just see these shadows popping up and you're swinging at them and you're not making purchase on anything. And then all the fight is taken out of you as you feel two hands grab your shoulders ever so gently, and you hear a rattling behind you. And the last thing you hear is,
oh, not enough. Not enough.
And everything goes black. Camp Summer House in the Estrella Marshlands is the premier camp in Florida for brilliant ecologists, botanists, and nature lovers to come and spend their summer diving headfirst into their passion to understand and make the world a better place. You all wake up around a small camp as the sun is starting to set. Can't remember exactly how you got there, but you remember you were sent there to investigate the marsh. As you're all waking up, You're looking around. You remember vaguely what happened. You're very confused and terrified because you were sure you were dead, but you're all sitting there fine. As the camera starts panning out, it shows you all kind of like looking around and freaking out. And then the camera shifts over and goes across the woods, the marsh, I mean. And it finds a small house, this creepy shack that just perpetually spins and bounces as it just seems to keep spinning on one massive chicken leg. And as we zoom into the house, you see 3 old women who look very similar, have their own distinct features. And you see the one that we just saw in the story come in and put her mouth over a jar. And as she exhales, it fills with this wispy cloud, but only to about a third of the jar. And then she closes it and closes the top on it, screws it on, very disappointed. And she looks at the other 2 and she's like,
Sisters, I didn't get as much as I thought. I got more this time, but it seems like using the spirits to torture is a renewable source. Maybe we should add more.
and then the other 2, you see them writhing their hands and smiling and cackling. And it goes back, like it zooms out of the house, zooms all the way up. You see the marsh, and you see, eerily enough, you see the campfire you're at. And another campfire. And another campfire. And another. And then it fades to black. And that's our story.